Our story begins with a young man in his 20s named Yannick, who heads to a mall for shopping. Suddenly, his eyes fall upon a woman who catches his attention intensely. It is Giselle, a 52-year-old woman who works as a social worker. After a few minutes, a security guard catches Yannick trying to steal. At this moment, Giselle intervenes to help him and pays for the items he tried to steal. Giselle tries to explain to him that he is destroying his life with this behavior, but Yannick was actually happy with her intervention because he deliberately stole just to catch her attention and invite her to come to his house. However, Giselle flatly refuses, as she does not go anywhere with a stranger. Yannick hands her the box of candy she paid for, and as Giselle tries to walk away, her bag falls. When she bends down to pick it up, Yannick's gaze lingers on her. This behavior confuses her and confirms her conviction that some people never change. Later, she returns home and searches her bag carefully, only to discover that her wallet is missing. She immediately concludes that Yannick was the one who took it. Meanwhile, at his home, Yannick examines her ID card and begins searching for her address. The next morning, Giselle receives the news of her husband's death. They were living apart, but she now heads to the house where the funeral is being held. Her son, daughter, and sister are there to support her in her grief. As she walks out, she is surprised by Yannick waiting for her near her car, returning the wallet she lost. Giselle becomes very angry, thinking he deliberately stole it, but in the next moment, her eyes overflow with tears and she throws herself into his arms. It was not because of her husband's death, but because of betrayal. The man loved another woman and was merely exploiting her. While she is drowning in her tears, Giselle begins to vent to the young man about her husband. Yannick reassures her and tells her that he will stay by her side and there is no need to worry, then he kisses her. Surprisingly, Giselle likes this feeling, but moments later, she trembles from her car. After some time, Giselle receives a letter written by her husband, delivered to her by one of his friends. In this letter, her husband apologizes and tells her that he loved her sincerely, but the gap between reality and words continues to torture her. In the meantime, a friend of hers approaches her and invites her to go on a fishing trip. After thinking for a bit, Giselle agrees. The next morning, Yannick waits for her in front of her house, but Giselle ignores him and remains silent behind the door. A short while later, her sister arrives with breakfast, but Giselle does not answer either. Then suddenly, Giselle appears with a shotgun in her hand. All the suppressed anger inside her explodes, and she tells her sister that her husband was cheating on her with another woman. Upon hearing this, her sister is deeply shocked and confused because that other woman is herself. Without saying a word, the sister leaves. After that, Giselle heads to a beauty salon. Shortly after, Yannick arrives and tries to catch her attention, so she smiles at him. As soon as Giselle returns home, Yannick calls her and they agree to meet. Before meeting Yannick, she meets George, her sister's husband. He flirts with her and tells her that her dress looks great on her. She gets so absorbed in talking to him that she loses track of time and forgets her appointment with Yannick. Meanwhile, Yannick had arrived early at the meeting place. His friends secretly followed him and are watching him from afar. After several hours, Giselle finally arrives. The young man's friends are shocked to see Yannick on a date with an older woman. Yannick seizes the opportunity and confesses his feelings to her, but Giselle does not take his words seriously. Anger ignites in his heart, so he takes off the jacket he bought and throws it into the street, unable to understand her rejection of his love. Yannick returns angrily to his ex-girlfriend's house with a broken heart. Meanwhile, Giselle spends the entire night thinking about the young man. The next morning, she goes out to look for him. She goes to his workplace, but he did not show up that day. She tries to get his address but does not succeed, so she returns home disappointed. That evening, while she was watering the plants at home, she suddenly feels someone's presence in the bathroom. She finds Yannick, and they get very close. But at this very moment, her son and daughter arrive to surprise her, unaware of what is happening inside. Giselle rushes out of the bathroom and acts as if everything is normal. After Yannick leaves, Giselle's daughter goes to take a shower but finds the young man's underwear there. After a few hours, Giselle heads to the lake to meet the young man, and they spend time together. One day, Yannick sleeps in front of the woman's house. As soon as Giselle sees him, she gets angry and tells him frankly that they cannot continue seeing each other in this public manner. They spend a lot of time together, but this time Giselle sets a condition: they will not meet more than once a week. However, things seem to have already changed. Little by little, they begin to forget their boundaries, and their meetings near the lake and in cafes become more frequent, and people begin to notice their behavior. Giselle tries to explain to him that they are crossing boundaries, but Yannick reassures her and promises her that no harm will come to her. That same night, George comes to Giselle's house under the pretext of checking on her. Giselle hides Yannick inside the house. George approaches her and begins talking to her tenderly. In fact, George has feelings for Giselle but had never expressed them before. Then George enters the house, and Giselle begins to feel tense, fearing her secret will be exposed. George continues to talk softly, and Giselle engages in the conversation. As he approaches her, Yannick suddenly appears before them. George finally realizes the truth, his heart breaks, and he leaves without saying a word. Giselle's anger immediately turns on Yannick for not listening to her. The young man gets angry too, he trusted her, and it seems she has a relationship with another man, so he leaves the place. Meanwhile, Giselle realizes her mistake and goes to see George to apologize, but George decides to cut off his relationship with her because he no longer trusts her. The next morning, Yannick returns to the same store, takes something, and tries to leave without paying, but this time he is sent to prison. After a few hours, Giselle learns about it and intervenes to release him. She scolds him angrily and tells him that she cannot keep getting him out of prison every time. Yannick is still angry at her, as he suspects a relationship between her and George, but he realizes his mistakes too. While they are sitting in the car, he apologizes to her and they reconcile. That evening, Giselle goes to a party wearing a red dress, but at the party, Yannick's ex-girlfriend appears. She has found out everything about them. She begins to mock Giselle, her age, her profession, and everything. Giselle feels insulted and stands up silently to leave. Yannick tries to stop her and hug her, but she walks away without saying a word. Giselle's sister asks what happened, and the young man explains to her that Giselle and Yannick are in a relationship. Upon hearing this, the woman is shocked. Yannick follows Giselle, but she ignores him. As soon as she enters her house, she finds her daughter. The girl tells her that everyone was waiting for her to scatter her father's ashes, but Giselle remains silent and realizes that her daughter has started to suspect her. In a state of oppression, Giselle visits her sister the next day. The pain she feels deep inside slowly begins to surface, and she says that betrayal often comes from the people dearest to us. Her sister remains silent. Giselle also talks about George, and upon hearing this, something ignites in her sister's heart. At that very moment, Giselle's children arrive home, but suddenly Yannick appears. Giselle quickly tries to salvage the situation, claiming that the young man is one of her clients and that he is mentally unstable. At that moment, Yannick clearly calls Giselle his beloved. Upon hearing this, the woman leaves the house angry. Giselle screams at the young man that he is ruining her reputation. Nearby, George watches the scene, with signs of strange satisfaction appearing on his face. Shortly after, the two sisters go together to the lake to scatter the ashes. The sister suddenly breaks down in tears and asks her to forgive her for her betrayal with her husband. The situation becomes so tense that the two sisters fall into the water. Giselle returns to the shore, but she sees George and Yannick fighting over her love. Then, without thinking, Yannick and Giselle embrace. Their feelings will no longer be hidden. Giselle's children watch everything from a distance, and then the two leave this place together on a long journey, leaving the past behind, and this movie ends. If you liked the movie, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell button to receive everything new we offer.